newly appointed, newly formed prime minister. He also had that slightly messianic trait about the way he spoke, was talking about hope and placing trust in the future. Obviously, Sunak, Blair was a profound Christian, as it happens, and Sunak, we understand, is a practicing Hindu. But nonetheless, there is that slightly sort of pulpit-esque delivery to his speech. So yes, it's all about trust. It's all about the future. It's all about hope. But what he really has to do now is knuckle down and deal with the catastrophe that is the current UK economy. And I hope that's what he's going to do for everyone's sake.
Or a party that has been planned, or are they going to just get straight down to business, Jonathan?
No, there won't. There absolutely won't be a party. No, I mean, number one, we understand he's teetotal, so he doesn't even drink. Number two, it would send out absolutely the wrong message, wouldn't it? After the scandal of Boris Johnson's lockdown parties, alleged lockdown parties, which he's still on the hook for, and he's still under investigation for lying to Parliament about. So no, absolutely no question of any celebration whatsoever. I think Sunak is a very, very businesslike and very serious human being. He's going to get down, he's going to appoint his new cabinet, and then he's going to get down to business. And he's going to be, frankly, wielding the whip, wielding the cosh, I suspect, because there's a lot of very serious work that needs to be done now.
He kept speaking about the manifesto. I think he made a mention about the manifesto as well. So what's the manifesto? And, that'll lay out a path for what he needs to do exactly.
Yeah, I mean, manifestos are complex because you write a manifesto at leisure, and then repent at will, I suppose. The Tories made many promises in their manifesto, some of which escape me in the heat of the moment, but they promised, for instance, to try and bring down immigration. Of course, every Conservative government has promised that since time immemorial, manage the economy, get inflation down. I think, all these things are probably uppermost on his mind. The immigration issue is particularly interesting because Liz Truss obviously made a lot of promises. They introduced this very controversial Rwanda scheme where asylum seekers would essentially be flown away to Africa, banished there. It remains to be seen whether that will continue. The outgoing Home Secretary, but one, Suella Braverman, fell out with Liz Truss over that. She wanted to crack down on immigration. Liz Truss was one of those free market conservatives who encourages immigration because that tends to boost economic growth. So it'll be very interesting to see what Rishi Sunak's position is on the immigration question as laid down in the manifesto.
Will tell. Time will answer that question. But immediately next, there would be a cabinet reshuffle. Has he promised anyone a job yet?
No, not to our knowledge. I mean, that he is keeping his cards incredibly close to his chest there, and it would be impossible to speculate. I think that the only relative certainty is that, and this is kind of ironic because he is a former Chancellor of the Exchequer. Now we have this job called Chancellor of the Exchequer. It's what everyone else calls Finance Minister, but he is the former Finance Minister himself and could do that job himself blindfolded. But now he's Prime Minister, he has to have another Finance Minister. Now they installed Jeremy Hunt in haste just a few days ago in order to try and survive this car crash of mini budgets that Liz Truss brought in. He's not a natural economist, but he is a very seasoned politician. And I think it's probably highly likely that Jeremy Hunt will remain as Chancellor of the Exchequer simply for the sake of stability. Obviously, the markets are what's trashed the pound and trashed the economy. So the markets have to be respected. So I think it's probably highly likely that Jeremy Hunt will remain as Chancellor. Now, Home Secretary, who knows? Grant Shapps, he's another seasoned Tory. He's only been in the post for about a week. Who knows if he'll stay? James Cleverly, who's the Foreign Secretary, again, was a Truss friend and loyalist. Who knows what's going to happen there? It might be sensible to keep him there. I suppose now, upon reflection, Ben Wallace, the Defense Secretary, will almost certainly stay because he has handled the Ukraine war very effectively indeed, and clearly that's on a knife edge itself at the moment. So it would be deeply impolitic and unsound to meddle with that. Everything else, frankly, as far as I can see, is up for grabs.
So plenty of speculation right there from what I understand from you, Jonathan. Continue to be on this broadcast with us. A lot of speculation about the cabinet reshuffle. From what Jonathan says, he doesn't seem like he's promised anyone a job as yet, but there is a lot of speculation, and the next business for Rishi Sunak is going to be his cabinet. Who will form the cabinet of the new Prime Minister of United Kingdom, Rishi Sunak? We're slipping into a break. When we return, the world is witnessing the last solar eclipse of the year. We're bringing you that story.
You are watching India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
हम अकेले ड्यूटी करते, हम गरीब आदमी हैं सर।
मेरी क्या गलती है बताइए?
गांव से इसीलिए आए कि अपना परिवार का भरण पोषण होता रहे।
आत्मसम्मान तो मेरा चला ही गया, मुझे सिर्फ रिस्पेक्ट चाहिए।
जितने भी पूरे भारत में सिक्योरिटी गार्ड लगे हुए हैं, सबको मान सम्मान मिलना चाहिए।
हम आपकी कहानी पूरी दुनिया को सुनाएंगे और आपके स्वाभिमान के लिए आवाज उठाएंगे। रात 9 बजे आज तक पर।
The COVID-19 pandemic has forced us to do a rethink on how we lead our lives, to think about what we are doing to our bodies and to our health, and also wellness, because it is time now to go back to the basics. It is time to talk about your food, your sleep habits, your gut health, stress, and much more. And that exactly is what our brand new health show, Health 360, is going to do at these times only on India Today TV.
Ever heard of zombifiers? No, I'm not talking about flesh-eating maniacs. This is a rare phenomenon that is also known as overwintering fires. This occurs mostly in countries like Russia, Canada, and Alaska. So what are zombifiers really? Peat fires burn underground and are very difficult to detect. They're also known as zombie fires as they can burn underground and reignite weeks or months later. Climate change is drying peatlands and making them more susceptible to fire. During a fire, burnt trees fall to the ground, igniting the flammable peat in the soil. The embers can continue to burn more than a meter underground for weeks or months, even in winter in certain regions of the world. The embers are fed by peat, a spongy material rich in carbon formed by decomposition of organic matter. They burn underground and return to the surface where in dry and windy conditions they can start a new fire.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today.
are watching India Today.
The world is witnessing the last solar eclipse of the year. The celestial phenomenon occurs when moon passes between the earth and the sun. It blocks most of the sun's light and throws its shadow on the earth, creating a dazzling, fiery crescent. While parts of Europe have witnessed the solar eclipse, in India, it has just begun. It is expected to continue till 6 p.m. this evening. In India, the solar eclipse is associated with religious beliefs and some superstitions too. The doors of Kedarnath and Badrinath temples have been closed due to the partial solar eclipse earlier today. People were seen taking holy dips ahead of the eclipse. Now, viewing the eclipse sun with the naked eye is not advised even for a very brief period of time. It can damage the eyes permanently and result in blindness. The Indian Institute of Astrophysics is live streaming the partial solar eclipse from Hanle in Ladakh. They say that it is one of the rarest solar eclipses and will not be seen again for another 10 years. Live visuals coming in at the moment from Lucknow. You can see Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath right there, flanked by a number of people. In fact, it's the world that is witnessing the last solar eclipse of the year. The moon passing between Earth and the sun, blocking most of the sunlight, throwing its shadow on Earth, a dazzling fiery crescent. In India, it has just begun and is expected to continue till 6 p.m. And in India, a lot of beliefs, that is religious beliefs and superstitions, are attached with it as well. There are doors of some temples like the Kedarnath and Badrinath have been closed because of the partial solar eclipse. People have also taken holy dip ahead of the eclipse. Here you can see Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath right there as well. But I must tell the viewers what I just said earlier too. Viewing the eclipse sun with the naked eye is not advised even for a very brief period of time. It can damage the eyes permanently. It can also result in blindness. The Indian Institute of Astrophysics is live streaming the partial solar eclipse from Ladakh. They are saying it is one of the rarest solar eclipse and will not be seen again for the next 10 years. Ashutosh is now joining us for the latest details. Ashutosh, before you begin, there are some do's and don'ts as far as the solar eclipse are concerned, and these are mainly health related in terms of not looking at it straight in the eye, etc. If you could walk our viewers through that first.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you're watching going on your rooftop or in an open place and trying to look the solar eclipse, do not see through naked eyes. In fact, there are some such kind of glasses available in the market which barely cost 30 to 50 rupees. Use only that, not even mirror reflection, not even reflection in the water as it is suggested by many. It could really harm your eyes. But for now, what we are seeing here at the Delhi's Nehru Planetarium, massive arrangements have been done by the programmers of Nehru Planetarium. At various points, these scopes have been placed, and the Prerna, the programmer, one of the programmers from the planetarium, will join me shortly here. But for now, what we know that it is now 15% Prerna. It is visible 15%.
Yes, 15%, and I think it's about to 5. Around 5:30 will be 43%.
Okay, what will be the maximum percentage of the solar eclipse that will be?
43 is the complete total percentage from Delhi only.
43%. And now there are certain myths, as far as the advisories for people, those who are really, going on their rooftop or in open places watching. What are the advisories, what precautions people should take as far as, watching or viewing this solar eclipse concerned?
Only one advisory is there. Never ever see sun from the naked eyes. Use certain kind of filters to protect your eyes, because watching sun from your open eyes is any way harmful, whether it is eclipse or not.
It is harmful actually. Yes. So even for now, I'm using, this glass to watch the eclipse here. But for now, for our viewers, I'm bringing here the images which is being projected by the planetarium. There you see around 15 to 17% of the total eclipse that is visible on many projectors which have been, telecast here at planetarium and several other places wherever the solar eclipse is visible. Of course, this we are saying after 22 months. Last it was visible, I guess, around 23rd or 25th September 2019. And after COVID, this is almost 22 months when the eclipse, it yet again visible in India. And now next, it will be really too long. And for now, as we know, there's a literally battle between the, the ancient science and the modern science, how people define, as many believe in faith, do not eat, people go to temple, offer prayer. But where the modern science says it's just, astrophysics movement that is taking place. So this is just another event which is unfolding, be it the solar eclipse and the other. So there you see these special arrangements in the national capital at Nehru Planetarium. Chaiti.
Absolutely, and thanks for getting us the do's and don'ts as well, because those are medically advised do's and don'ts as far as the solar eclipse is concerned, in terms of not looking at it from the naked eye, but using those special glasses to look at it. Abhishek Mishra also joins us from Prayagraj. Abhishek, what's going on at Prayagraj?
Well, as far as Prayagraj is concerned, you can certainly see that the solar eclipse has begun here at approximately around 4:25. It began and it's already going on. As far as the impact is concerned, it looks like it's approximately 18 to 20% so far, and it has been said that 32% of solar eclipse will be visible in Prayagraj. Now, as far as this particular city is concerned, it's a holy city, Prayagraj, and we have been witnessing from morning itself that the devotees who all have been coming here were taking the holy dip in the confluence of Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati here, which is unique in itself. It's only visible in Prayagraj, and soon after that the period began, people, and specifically all the devotees who have come from different regions, were visible, chanting Shri Ram, doing the bhajanas, and the kirtans were very much evident on the banks of river Ganga. But right now the solar eclipse is going on. It's approximately 18 to 20%, and you can see in the visuals how this it will continue for about 5:27. So that is something which is the time, approximately 30 to 34 minutes.
Kids will be very curious. The young kids will be very curious, and this is something so interesting, because kids, when they're growing up, they love understanding how the science of all of this works. So are there schools, all right, let's take this with Dev right there. Dev, are there schools who are making all these strips for the students, explaining to them how the eclipse really happened, the science behind it? What's going on in Jaipur? Dev, can you hear me? Dev, can you hear me? All right, let's re-establish Dev in moments from now. Abhishek Mishra is joining us from Prayagraj. Abhishek, from an educational perspective, what have the schools in Prayagraj done to educate the students about this one-of-its-kind and last solar eclipse of the year?
Well, Chaiti, as far as educational approach is concerned, Prayagraj is particularly a holy city, and today, because of the Diwali, holidays are going on, so there has not been much of such event happening. Although there is a Jawahar Planetarium in Anand Bhavan, but that is also closed today. But whosoever is coming on the banks of river Ganga, they are witnessing it with using the specialized glasses. So that is something which we can see. But majorly, it's all about the belief Prayagraj has, and the people specifically. We witnessed devotees coming from Madhya Pradesh, from Delhi, Chandigarh, even from the parts of Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, and they have a belief that taking the holy dip at the confluence of river Ganga and Yamuna, it is something which can only get the benefit in Prayagraj. So that is something which is more evident. We have been witnessing about the kirtans happening here.
Religious belief right there, and that's a religious belief of the people. They're conducting all these religious rituals and ceremonies as well. We'll continue getting you more details as far as this is concerned. We're slipping into a break. When we return, Rishi Sunak takes charge as UK's new Prime Minister. It sparks a political war in India after opposition asked if something similar can even happen in India. The BJP hits back, citing examples of Manmohan Singh and Abdul Kalam.
You are watching India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
Audiotron.
Hang on, we're going to actually now start investing.
Rishi Raj in UK, Rona Dhona here. Diversity Brigade Wales and India. Sunak win triggers fake diversity despos. Netas use Sunak to decry the Indian system. Ignorant ammo just for political points. Big Desi war over Videshi Prime Minister. Our big focus on 5 Live.
And honestly, viewer, I can only feel sorry, and I'm sure you feel sorry as well, for those who feel the need to point fingers at the Indian political system just to score political points. And the ammunition they're using is Mr. Brown, Rishi Sunak, becoming the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Not through a popular vote, but because of the total decimation of that prime ministerial race within the Conservative Party. But that's politics for you here in India, especially in election season. The desperate are getting more desperate. I'm Shiv. This is 5 Live. These are the headlines. Rishi Sunak takes charge as the new UK Prime Minister. The third UK Prime Minister in the last 45 days. He sparks a political war here in India, his country of origin, after opposition leaders ask if something similar can ever happen in India. BJP hits back, cites the examples of Manmohan Singh and Abdul Kalam. Communal clashes in Vadodara, Gujarat on the occasion of Diwali yesterday. 2 groups clash with instances of stone pelting reported. The police who tried to calm the situation were attacked with petrol bombs by an unruly crowd. 5 people have been arrested in connection with a blast which took place near a temple in Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu on October the 23rd. The police are probing a terror angle. BJP accuses Chief Minister Stalin of downplaying the suicide terror angle. Out on parole, rape and murder convict Gurmeet Ram Rahim's fresh provocation. The self-styled murderer, rapist, godman held online satsangs and released new music videos after coming out on parole. That is the level of his shamelessness. World witnesses last solar eclipse of the year, expected to last till about 6 this evening. Doors of Kedarnath and Badrinath temple closed due to celestial phenomena. A battered and floundering United Kingdom has just welcomed its newest Prime Minister, the third Prime Minister in just the last 45 days. Rishi Sunak has now officially taken over as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. These are the latest pictures of Rishi Sunak meeting with King Charles just a few days after Liz Truss had met with the Queen, who was alive at that time. That's how fast politics has moved in the United Kingdom. It's the beginning of a new era. Also the first Prime Minister under the reign of King Charles III, Sunak will now officially form the new government in London after the traditional norm of a meet and greet that has just taken place at the Buckingham Palace. Rishi Sunak, once a hedge fund manager before plunging into politics, is a man of many firsts, and I'm sure you've heard all of those on social media and on your WhatsApp groups in the last 24 hours. From being the first Prime Minister of South Asian descent in the UK, the youngest to become the British Prime Minister, to also being the wealthiest to hold the post. His rise has been nothing short of meteoric. The UK Prime Minister faces the task of steering the economically bruised, battered and floundering United Kingdom that's currently staring at stalled economic growth propelled by a cost of living crisis that is some of the worst situations in living memory.
I am humbled and honoured to have the support of my parliamentary colleagues and to be elected as leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party. It is the greatest privilege of my life to be able to serve the party I love and give back to the country I owe so much to. I pledge that I will serve you with integrity and humility, and I will work day in, day out to deliver for the British people. I will place economic stability and confidence at the heart of this government's agenda. This will mean difficult decisions to come. The government I lead will not leave the next generation, your children and grandchildren, with a debt to settle that we were too weak to pay ourselves. I want to pay tribute to my predecessor, Liz Truss. She was not wrong to want to improve growth in this country, but some mistakes were made. Not born of ill will or bad intentions, but mistakes nonetheless. And I have been elected as leader of my party and your Prime Minister, in part, to fix them. And that work begins immediately. I will unite our country, not with words, but with action. This government will have integrity, professionalism, and accountability at every level. Trust is earned, and I will earn yours. And I understand too that I have work to do to restore trust after all that has happened. I know the high office I have accepted, and I hope to live up to its demands. So I stand here before you, ready to lead our country into the future, to put your needs above politics, to reach out and build a government that represents the very best traditions of my party. Together, we can achieve incredible things. I will always be grateful to Boris Johnson for his incredible achievements as Prime Minister, and I treasure his warmth and generosity of spirit. The mandate my party earned in 2019 is not the sole property of any one individual, and the heart of that mandate is our manifesto. I will deliver on its promise.
And look at this defining set of images of the day. On the left-hand side, the 6th of September, just a few days ago, last month, when Liz Truss, as the new Prime Minister of Britain, was meeting with Queen Elizabeth II. Cut forward Just a few days to 25th of October, and you've got a new Prime Minister and a new British monarch. That's how things have rolled forward. The show has moved on. New Prime Minister and new Royal Monarch of the United Kingdom. That's where things stand right now, with King Charles as the monarch and Rishi Sunak as the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, while all of this has been simmering over Rishi Sunak, a very desi war of words over this Videshi Prime Minister has been exploding, courtesy all the usual washed-up, desperate netas who can think of nothing better than to choose any local or international event to somehow decry either the Indian government or the Indian system. While the world has hailed Rishi Sunak's meteoric rise to becoming the newest British Prime Minister, many political parties, including, of course, the Congress Party and, of course, the PDP, have used this opportunity to take a swipe at the ruling BJP. This has spurred a big mega political showdown. Take a look at this. It's hilarious.
The first non-white Indian origin person and Hindu in 10 Downing Street.
I will unite our country, not with words, but with action. This government will have integrity, professionalism, and accountability at every level. Trust is earned, and I will earn yours.
But with Rishi Sunak's meteoric rise comes a bitter desi war of words in the country which was once home to his grandparents. PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti was among the opposition leaders targeting India's secular credentials, asking, can a minority take the top job in India like Sunak did in the UK? The BJP hit out, claiming Mehbooba Mufti must walk the talk by backing a minority Hindu as Jammu and Kashmir's chief minister.
APJ कलाम एक बहुत ही सुयोग्य लोकप्रिय राष्ट्रपति बने हैं। उनको किसने बनाया था राष्ट्रपति? अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी ने। एक बहुत ही योग्य दलित नेता रामनाथ कोविंद जी भारत के राष्ट्रपति बने। किसने बनाया था? नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने। क्या वो जम्मू कश्मीर में एक माइनॉरिटी यानी गैर मुस्लिम नेता को मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में स्वीकार करेंगे?
भारत सबसे बड़ा लोकतंत्र है और इस लोकतंत्र में आज तक भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक ऐसी पार्टी है जो अब्दुल कलाम जैसे माइनॉरिटी से लेकर के उसको राष्ट्रपति बनाती है। ये हमारे देश की खूबसूरती है। लेकिन आपकी जो मानसिकता है उसको बदलो, यहाँ भी सब बदलेगा।
The opposition led by Congress quickly joined in but appeared split down the middle. While Congress MP Shashi Tharoor and P. Chidambaram questioned if India can place a minority at the highest office like Britain, Jairam Ramesh said no one can preach diversity to India.
हजारों साल से अगर हमारे दुनिया में एक मिसाल था अनेकताओं का जश्न मनाने का, अनेकताओं को सम्मान देने का, वो हिंदुस्तान था। मैं नहीं समझता हूं कि हमें किसी और देश से सबक सीखने की जरूरत है। हमारा समाज ही अनेकता में एकता है।
But the opposition was fact-checked by the BJP, which was quick to highlight how India has had minorities in top posts, pointing to Manmohan Singh, a Sikh, and APJ Abdul Kalam, a Muslim.
Congress party is back to doing what it does best, that is undermine India's image and play the fake Islamophobia narrative wherever possible. Even the topmost constitutional position of the President of India was held by APJ Abdul Kalam, Fakhruddin Ahmad, Gyani Zail Singh and others, all belonging to the minority community. Because what should matter is not whether you are from a particular ethnic group or minority group, but whether you have the merit to hold these positions or not.
Are our netas using Rishi Sunak to decry the Indian system? Bureau Report, India Today.
And Asaduddin Owaisi can always be depended on to come into this entire international debate that has been sparked by Rishi Sunak's anointment as the new Prime Minister and communalize the whole issue in the most hypocritical way that he's best known for. Asaduddin Owaisi, Hyderabad MP, says he wants a hijab-wearing girl, inshallah, wants a hijab-wearing girl as the Indian Prime Minister in his lifetime. He makes it a point to specify hijab-wearing girl, once again affirming that men will decide what women should wear. He could have easily just said he hopes to see a Muslim girl as Prime Minister, in his lifetime. But he makes it a point to say hijab-wearing girl at a time when the wearing of hijab has led to violence, the killing of people in another country, while it has become an issue of violent debate in different parts of the country. This politician makes it a point to say that he wants a hijab-wearing Prime Minister of India. That is what patriarchy is.
मैं तो बोला कि इंशाल्लाह मेरी जिंदगी में या मेरी जिंदगी के बाद एक हिजाब पहनने वाली बच्ची भारत की प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनेंगे बोले। मैं तो बोला हूँ ये बात। मैं तो बोला कि इंशाल्लाह मेरी जिंदगी में या मेरी जिंदगी के बाद एक हिजाब पहनने वाली बच्ची भारत की प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनेंगे बोले। मैं तो बोला हूँ ये बात।
Well, Asaduddin Owaisi, who often accuses other parties, including the BJP, legitimately or illegitimately, of communalizing issues, looking for political dividends in communally polarizing issues. He's right many of the times, but here he is doing the very same, decrying a system that has elevated many minorities to top positions, including a Sikh Prime Minister, a Muslim President. Currently, we have a tribal president as well. And here's a man who claims to represent the interests of Muslims, a popularly elected representative from Hyderabad, wishing that a hijab-wearing woman becomes the Prime Minister of India. That is how specific Asaduddin Owaisi's shameless patriarchy is, that he makes it a point to specify that he wants a person wearing a hijab to be the next Prime Minister of India, and he says, inshallah, it will happen in my lifetime. It's not about a woman, it's not about merit, it's not about even being a Muslim, it's about wearing the hijab for Asaduddin Owaisi. While people are getting killed, here's Asaduddin Owaisi invoking hijab as his dream for the future Prime Minister.
मैं तो बोला कि इंशाल्लाह मेरी जिंदगी में या मेरी जिंदगी के बाद एक हिजाब पहनने वाली बच्ची भारत की प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनेंगे बोले। मैं तो बोला हूँ ये बात। मैं तो बोला कि इंशाल्लाह मेरी जिंदगी में या मेरी जिंदगी के बाद एक हिजाब पहनने वाली बच्ची भारत की प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनेंगे बोले।
Well, people like Owaisi can be, dreaming about a hijab-wearing Prime Minister and all that. We leave them to their, those dreams. But the fact is, Rishi Sunak has scripted history by becoming Britain's first Indian origin Prime Minister. He's very British. He's not Indian. He's of Indian origin. He wasn't born in India. He hails from Africa. His parents moved there, born, brought up, everything in Britain. So let's make no mistake about that. Rishi Sunak's grandparents came from Pakistani Punjab. At that time, it was just Punjab. While his father-in-law is the very well-known Indian billionaire Narayana Murthy, founder of Infosys and one of India's best-known wealthy businessmen. But not just that. It is also Rishi Sunak's Hindu identity, his faith, his religion, that has become a talking point. His Hindu connect has transcended with a large Indian population in the United Kingdom, and it has connected with them, and that's one of the reasons why you'll see it mentioned very often. First Indian origin, first South Asian, first non-white, and first Hindu Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative Party.
A practicing Hindu, Rishi Sunak was named as UK's Prime Minister on Diwali. 2 years ago, when he was Chancellor, Sunak lit candles to mark the Festival of Lights on the doorstep of 11 Downing Street. Although he rarely speaks about his faith publicly, Rishi Sunak wears his Hinduism on his sleeve. After the 2017 general election, he swore his oath to Parliament upon the sacred Hindu text, the Bhagavad Gita. Sunak has said that the Gita comes to his rescue during tough situations and reminds him of his responsibilities.
But at times of the most difficulty, what Akshata has done for me is to give me the teachings of the Gita. And she has done it. She has done it on the phone, she has done it by message, but it is the Gita that has given me strength over the past few weeks to keep going and to keep fighting for the things that I believe in.
Sunak also found time for darshan at a temple during the course of the long campaign and had members of the Indian diaspora praying for his success. As per media reports, Sunak always keeps an idol of Sri Ganesh on his table. He earlier made an appeal to give up eating beef, and he never has it himself. Sunak was also seen performing Gau Puja in London. The video, which went viral, was shot when the 42-year-old visited a cow enclosure along with his wife Akshata Murty, the daughter of Infosys founder N.R. Narayana Murthy. Sunak was seen getting up with a brass vessel in hand and offering the holy water. The priests around the couple then told them about the next ritual. On the occasion of Janmashtami in 2022, Sunak visited the Bhakti Vedanta Manor temple with his wife Akshata in advance of the popular Hindu festival celebrating Lord Krishna's birthday. With Coca-Cola as his preferred beverage, Sunak might be the first teetotaler Prime Minister of the UK since David Lloyd George. Bureau Report, India Today.
And going straight across now for a quick check on where things are at with the new Sunak Sarkar. Lavina Tandon live with us from 10 Downing Street. Lavina, welcome. This has been a fast-moving 24 hours with the first Indian origin Prime Minister. So many firsts, so many things being said about, Rishi Sunak. He's given his speech. He's met with King Charles III as well. What happens next? He said that there's going to be no rest whatsoever. He's going to hit the ground running. But what happens for the rest of the day today and the foreseeable future?
I will come to that, Shiv, but just one addition to the first. He's also the first fastest politician who was not really a politician just in 2015 to have stepped into politics and to have become the Prime Minister, beating every British person who might have wanted to do that as well. So this is the fastest that anyone could have come and become a Prime Minister at that from with another origin is just an addition. So now coming back to your question, is that now he is at this point in time at any given very quickly be telling what are the key positions of the parliament, of his cabinet, and that is very, very important. He would be looking at the 31st August mini budget. Now that's a key element. This 31st October mini budget is the reason why a lot of this process was accelerated, and whether he postpones it or he takes it, one would know. But he's inside where I stand outside the quintessential black door, and he's inside working away in the cabinet room, figuring out who is going to be in his cabinet. We'll be announcing that very quickly, looking at the 31st October budget and also looking at the PMQs. The PMQs here, that is Prime Minister Question Time, happens every Wednesday. He'll be taking them tomorrow against Keir Starmer, who has been asking for elections. It's a very key moment. The entire country, if not the world, will be looking at how he handles that. That is like a litmus test for a Prime Minister. So he has all of this to be doing. And in his speech, it was a speech that was saying, trust me, I'm going to get stability in the country. I'm going to handle the economic mess. I'm going to look at the NHS, the schools, and Boris Johnson, make amends with him as well, because that is where the rivalry has come. He was seen as bringing Boris' government down. So as of now, inside, he's working away at the three main things. One is the cabinet positions, which are already must be decided. Number two, the 31st October mini budget. And number three, the immediate task of addressing the PMQs tomorrow.
And there's no time to waste at all because of the size and scale of the crisis at hand. Lavina, thanks very much for that. We'll keep coming back to you. There are bound to be more, quick updates on Rishi Sunak's movements today as he gets busy as the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Now, as the former Chancellor of the United Kingdom, Rishi Sunak has achieved many firsts for a man of Indian origin. He's now been chosen as the newest UK Prime Minister, making him not just the youngest, as Lavina was saying, but also the first Indian origin Hindu Prime Minister. Let's take a look at his journey over the years. And also remember, it's not so much, many experts believe, about ethnicity. It's not about his origins, but about his expertise. Remember, this was a man who had been in investment banking for many years. He made the switch into politics in just 2015, and in 7 short years, he's become the Prime Minister of that country. The United Kingdom will be hoping that his expertise from the world of economics, banking, and finance will help a country that is literally on its knees.
It is the greatest privilege of my life to be able to serve the party I love and give back to the country I owe so much to.
Who is Rishi Sunak, Britain's new Prime Minister?
I am resigning.
After Liz Truss's chaotic 6 weeks in charge,
we have made mistakes.
Boris Johnson's aborted comeback mission, and Penny Mordaunt's failure to secure enough Tory backers.
Rishi Sunak is there.
42-year-old Sunak is now at the helm of a country desperately in need of some stability. Let's take a look at how he got here.
That means honesty and responsibility, not fairy tales.
Southampton-born Sunak is the UK's first Prime Minister of Indian descent. His family migrated to Britain in the 1960s, a period when many people from Britain's former colonies moved to the country to help it rebuild after the Second World War. Sunak attended the exclusive private school Winchester College, studied philosophy, politics and economics at Oxford University, and then got an MBA from Stanford University. It was there he met his wife Akshata Murty, whose father is Indian billionaire Narayan Murty, founder of IT services giant Infosys. Before entering politics, Sunak worked as an analyst at Goldman Sachs and was later a partner at 2 hedge funds. He's thought to be one of the richest members of Parliament, and his wealth and private school background has come into focus during TV debates. Sunak was elected to Parliament in 2015 and had a swift rise within the Conservative Party. He campaigned for leave in the EU referendum. By 2020, aged only 39, Sunak was named Finance Minister by Boris Johnson.
Delighted to be appointed, lots to get on with. Thanks very much.
Within weeks of becoming Chancellor, Sunak found himself having to steer the UK economy as the COVID-19 pandemic began.
I said I would do whatever it takes.
He pledged to do whatever it takes to help people through the pandemic and developed a popular furlough scheme to support millions of people through multiple lockdowns. He was also behind the Eat Out to Help Out initiative to boost the struggling hospitality sector in summer 2020. That included waiting tables at a central London eatery.
There we go.
In April 2022, Sunak had to deal with the fallout of being fined by police for breaking lockdown rules in Downing Street in June 2020. In that same month, he and his family's finances came under intense scrutiny. It was revealed that his wife, who is an Indian citizen, had not been paying her British tax on her foreign income through her non-domiciled status. The status is available to foreign nationals who do not see Britain as their permanent home.
She's always followed all the rules, paid all the tax in the UK that is due and paid tax internationally on her international investments. But she recognises this goes beyond just following those rules.
The revelations hurt Sunak ahead of his race against Liz Truss. Sunak eventually resigned as Chancellor in July 2022, a move that contributed to the downfall of Johnson as Tory leader and Prime Minister.
Hasta la vista, baby.
During the race to replace his former boss, Sunak lost out to Truss in the last leadership contest. While some choose to label the multi-millionaire as out of touch, others believe Sunak is the person to bring some calm to the economy.
We need a return to traditional conservative economic values.
After all, he was proven right in his warnings that Truss's fiscal plan threatened financial stability. Sunak has pledged to bring integrity, professionalism and accountability to government. But he has a mountain to climb to try to restore or renew the reputation of the Conservative Party, following one of the most turbulent periods in British political history.
Well, as the former Chancellor of the United Kingdom, Rishi Sunak has achieved many firsts for a man of Indian origin. Let's take a look at his journey over the years and also give you a perspective. I think that's the wrong story. I'll take you to the next story right now. Rishi Sunak and his wife Akshata Murty have a combined wealth, and this has become another big talking point, of over £700 million, making them not just the wealthiest number 10 Downing Street occupant so far, but also far richer than the British monarchy. Akshata, the daughter of Infosys founder N.R. Narayana Murty, is shied away from the spotlight, but her net income, coupled with her love for luxury and high-end fashion, has raised many eyebrows in a struggling British economy.
The new First Lady of the United Kingdom is also known as Bengaluru's Namma Hudugi or Our Girl. Akshata Murty is the daughter of billionaire tech icon Narayana Murty, the founder of software giant Infosys. But with the billionaire heiress all set to move to 10 Downing Street, all eyes are now on the wealth and opulence that follows the First Lady who rose from Bengaluru's first family. Akshata was raised in humble beginnings, her father founding Infosys just a year after her birth in Karnataka's Hubli, leading Narayana Murty to become one of India's wealthiest men. Fast forward to 2022, and Akshata Murty owns a 1% stake in Infosys, which approximately amounts to at least £400 million. The millionaire heiress also has an impeccable taste in fashion and set up a fashion label, Akshata Designs. It wound up 3 years later. But armed with her father's entrepreneurial genes and Infosys shares, Akshata Murty also holds stakes in multiple businesses, joint ventures with Amazon and burger chain Wendy's in India, among a few. Not just that, the First Lady of England also manages Caterman Ventures, a family business owned by her father, Narayana Murty. But Rishi Sunak's summer campaign for Prime Minister has nearly jeopardized when word came out of Akshata's non-domiciled tax status in the United Kingdom. This tax status meant that the heiress saved millions of pounds in taxes from her Infosys earnings, among many. While not illegal, the row raised questions of being ethical. Amid pressure from the media and public, Akshata was forced to ultimately give up her non-domiciled tax status. She had also faced some backlash recently after serving tea to journalists in super expensive cups, amid the UK cost of living crisis. Combined with British PM Rishi Sunak, the first couple will sit pretty on a combined wealth of nearly £700 million, making them the richest to enter the doors of 10 Downing Street. Bureau Report, India Today.
But it really is Rishi Sunak's journey to the top, his meteoric rise, that has become the biggest talking point. The fact that he entered politics laterally, shifting from investment banking and a hedge fund into politics just 7 years ago. People spend an entire lifetime and don't get to be the chief executive, the prime minister or the president or whatever of any country. This man has done it 7 years after taking the plunge. Take a look.
An Oxford University and Stanford graduate, Rishi was born in UK's Southampton area to an Indian family. He is the son of pharmacist mother and a National Health Service general practitioner father. Sunak's grandparents are from Punjab. He's married to Akshata Murty, who is the daughter of Infosys founder N.R. Narayan Murthy. Sunak and his wife Akshata Murty grabbed a spot on the Sunday Times Rich List in May 2022. Sunak became the first prominent British politician, at the time Chancellor, to have entered UK's wealthiest people's list. Sunak met his future wife while studying for an MBA at Stanford University in California. The couple, who tied the knot in 2009, have two daughters, Anushka and Krishna. Sunak became the Member of Parliament in 2015 after he got elected from Richmond, Yorkshire. In February 2020, he was designated as the Chancellor of the Exchequer, the most important UK cabinet post. Sunak was widely appreciated for his economic package for employees and businesses during the COVID pandemic. He was, however, criticised for not providing enough cost of living support to households. The politician never forgets to pay tributes to his Hindu roots, which makes him popular with the people of the Indian origin. Sunak lost the first round to Liz Truss, who trumped him to become Prime Minister, only to resign 45 days into a tumultuous tenure. This time, Sunak has pledged to fight the profound economic crisis that UK is currently facing.
When it comes to arguing for the union, it's easy to think about, well, make the argument about borrowing. How will Scotland manage? What about their currency? Who's going to pay their pensions? What about trade? Now, those are all important arguments. But we have to remember, nationalism is very seductive. It's a romantic idea. And we have to fight that idea with an argument that speaks to people's hearts. And my grandparents emigrated here, not to England, they emigrated to the United Kingdom. And it wasn't geography for them. It represented a set of values. And we have to make an argument about the union that is based on those shared values, that speaks to people's hearts. And that's what I will do as Prime Minister.
And escalate heat on Putin's Russia for the Ukraine misadventure. He earlier denied any connections with Infosys, part owned by his wife, which continued to operate in Russia during the war in Ukraine, and unite his squabbling Conservative Party.
I was a person who set up furlough in a matter of weeks, right? When everyone said to me, well, how will you do this? How will this work? We don't even know what the word means, let alone how we're going to administer a system that is going to actually make sure that we pay the wages of 10 million people. And every single newspaper, as they told me afterwards, had kept space that day to write the story that the system would never work. And it did. Because that's what I do, John. But when they come across difficult problems, I get to grips with them and I solve them. That's what I will do as Prime Minister.
The challenges are indeed enormous, but as they say, Rishi is ready. Bureau Report, India Today.
And Lizzie Lettuce struck fame, as you probably know already, viewer, for outlasting the last British Prime Minister, Liz Truss. It was the Daily Star tabloid that placed a head of lettuce next to a picture of Liz Truss and put the clock started and said, who is going to outlast who? Well, Lizzie Lettuce had the last laugh. And now that Rishi Sunak has taken over the top post, Lizzie Lettuce's farewell speech has left the internet in splits. Enjoy this. I'll see you on the other side.
Economic instability. I came into office at a time of great economic instability. But after an unbelievable campaign, I am thrilled to have been crowned victorious in these charred times. However, we must remain cautious. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Costs, many people might think I am a little green, but truly, I believe that I could be this country's little gem. I want to commend my opponent. Her heart was in it, but her head was not. We truly had never seen anything like her before, and I wish her luck with the remainder of her time in office. Now, we must move on to the leadership battle, which I am sure will be an arguer uphill battle for control. And I vow to each and every one of you that I'll be crest to impress. Thank you.
भारत में सिक्योरिटी गार्ड लगे हुए हैं, सबको मान सम्मान मिलना चाहिए।
हम अकेले ड्यूटी करते हैं, हम गरीब आदमी हैं सर।
आत्मसम्मान तो मेरा चला ही गया, मुझे सिर्फ रिस्पेक्ट चाहिए।
हम आपकी कहानी पूरी दुनिया को सुनाएंगे और आपके स्वाभिमान के लिए आवाज उठाएंगे। रात 9 बजे आज तक पर।
Everyone's busy finding what's trending. You're busy finding out why. India Today, for those who research before reacting. Download the India Today app now. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
I don't read the news. I read between the lines to tell you the true version of events, the true story of our times.
To document grief, the toughest assignment for any journalist to be.
From those who matter,
Women politicians going to stick up for each other.
of those who should matter, I document the truth. I don't distort the truth. I don't glamorize the truth. I don't gloss over the truth.
The ghosts of India's contentious medieval history have come knocking again.
I hustle for the truth, on the ground, in the newsroom, in the studio. I don't try to grab eyeballs.
I inform you to make you see the point.
To the point with Preeti Chaudhary at these times only on India Today.
Co-powered by RK Marble, Khoobsurat Imandari. In association with JioMart, Har Ghar Ka Mart.
We know you're all busy with Diwali shopping. But what if I told you this festive season you could shop from the Metaverse? Yes, you heard it right. E-commerce platform Flipkart has launched the Flipverse, a Metaverse-based shopping platform which can be accessed via the Flipkart app. Let's see how it works. First, open the Fire Drops by Flipkart website on your desktop or your laptop. Then click Enter Metaverse. Scan the QR code that's visible to you on the screen with your cell phone. This would open the Fire Drops app. Select Flipverse and then select a username and an avatar for yourself. And you've entered the Metaverse. As you can see, they have kicks from Puma, wearables from Noise, beauty products from Nivea, bags from Lavi, and even two-wheelers from TVS. Other brands showcasing their products are Campus, VIP, Himalaya, Butterfly India, and Tokyo Talkies. Now let's talk about the user experience. Flipverse is only compatible with Android cell phones. So Apple users, you might have to skip this Metaverse shopping experience. Also, it takes a considerable amount of time to load on our cell phones, in a way hampering the overall experience. Moreover, after exploring the Flipverse, we have concluded that it's a decent experiment so far, but it's not very immersive. And if you promise us a Metaverse, we expect it to be a lot more immersive. Maybe like shopping experiences that are offered by Gucci, Coca-Cola or H&M, right in the Metaverse. Flipverse was opened for everyone from 16th October and would wrap up by 23rd October. We hope that Flipkart comes with an upgraded version of the Flipverse soon.
Communal clashes broke out last night in Vadodara, Gujarat over Diwali celebrations in a particular locality. After unrest and clashes, India Today now has exclusive images of the moment which led to the mayhem last night. In the CCTV images, it can be seen that a rocket was fired at children, which led to tensions in that particular area. Stone peltings also started from the other side when parents protested that crackers were being pointed at their children. The police suspect planned riots in the Vadodara Diwali clashes that erupted over an argument between two communities over bursting crackers. The police claim that the street lights, which were turned off using petrol bombs, clearly indicates that the riots or violence was pre-planned. After violence broke out, within no time, groups started to vandalize shops. Several cars were damaged by rioters. Many vehicles were torched as well.
Major riots occurred in Vadodara after heated arguments over bursting firecrackers. We are present at the spot where this whole incident started. Let me tell you, at this Panigat area of Vadodara, there were some people, some small children over here who were bursting crackers. After which, there was a rocket which was thrown on them from the other side. And after which, the heated argument started. And let me tell you, it was so instant that after which stone pelting started, petrol bombs were hurled on each other. And let me tell you, most importantly, as soon as this particular incident started, the entire street lights on this particular roads were completely switched off. And that is what the police officials are saying, that this whole incident was pre-planned. There's a sabotage behind this. Because let me show you the entire visuals of this particular area. There is the police station, just 100 meters from this particular place where this incident took place. There is the Panigat police station, and behind me is the Zone 3 DCP office. So you can understand the proximity that how this whole incident has taken place. And let me tell you, when this whole incident started, there were so many of stones available. There were petrol bombs, the street lights were off, and so many of the shops and all the other vehicles are completely vandalized. Over here you can see that how this particular vehicle is also vandalized. And let me tell you, when the Zone 3 DCP was passing from this particular area, when this patrolling, he was doing this patrolling, a petrol bomb was thrown from that particular building. Now, the police officials have started the investigation. They have made a special team to investigate this whole particular case. They have detained over 20 people in this matter. But clearly, a politics has started. BJP's Amit Malviya and other leaders are saying that this was a proper pre-planned incident, a pre-planned riots to actually target the Hindus. With camera person Sajid Alam, this is Saurav Vakhtania in Vadodara for India Today.
And there's been a big breakthrough in the very disturbing Coimbatore car blast case. The police have arrested 5 persons in the cylinder blast in a car near a Coimbatore temple. The police are investigating CCTV footage to find out what the group were carrying in that car. This was a car blast that occurred outside a famous temple in Coimbatore that has raised many questions of a possible suicide blast attempt, terror-related. The police have begun a terror probe into this blast, and it has emerged that the man who was killed in the car, Jamisha Mubin, was earlier questioned by the National Investigation Agency in 2019 for possible links to terror, spurring speculation that it may have been a suicide blast attempt gone wrong. Police officials found nails and marbles at the blast site, and upon raiding the dead man, Jamisha Mubin's residence in Coimbatore, police also found chemicals that are used in the making of explosives. The BJP's state leader K. Annamalai has torn into the DMK government and specifically Chief Minister Stalin over the Coimbatore blast, saying that the ruling government is downplaying the incident by calling it a simple cylinder blast when there is a clear terror angle.
As political party, we have waited for almost 48 hours. At least to use the word called terror attack has happened in Tamil soil. That is what we want. You are calling that as a cylinder blast, and you are trying. So that moment you say a terror attack, at one end it also means people will take extra precaution when going out. It also means. That is also you have to say. If you call this as a cylinder blast, let us imagine one more module is active. That module might do an attack in the next 1 week or 10 days. Then what will the state government do? All we are doing is telling the government, people have started to know this is a terror attack, this is a suicide attack. Please don't hide anymore. Please arrest people, give us confidence.
And finally, people's frustration against the pothole menace in Karnataka was also evident during the Diwali celebrations in the city yesterday. Citizens in both Bengaluru as well as Mysuru celebrated Diwali in a unique way by lighting lamps and diyas around major potholes in the city. This protest was conducted to draw attention to the state of roads in the state that goes to the polls in just a few months from now. In Bengaluru, people fired rockets from potholes to mark their protest against the dismal condition of roads in the IT city, something that has been highlighted relentlessly here on India Today. Meanwhile, the Congress's state president D.K. Shivakumar also joined in on the pothole Diwali chorus, asking people across the state to come out onto the roads and light lamps in potholes to highlight the issue and keep the light burning.
I welcome all the resident association to come forward, identify this spot and lit a lamp there. That should be a form of protest. I appeal to all of them, all the resident associations, all the apartment association, all these in all the streets, let all of them come forward, lit a lamp today to show that what BJP is doing in this city.
Meanwhile, a massive corruption row has erupted ahead of what is positioned to be India's fiercest and most expensive by-election to a single assembly seat. It's the Munugode by-poll in Telangana scheduled for November the 3rd. BJP candidate from the constituency, Raja Gopal Reddy, has accused ruling BRS ministers KT Ramarao and Harish Rao of distributing liquor and money to voters. Rajagopal Reddy tweeted out a video of liquor distribution, saying that the ruling party was distributing it to youth, trying to incite them against him. The Munugode by-poll is scheduled to take place on November the 3rd and has become a defining feature of the fearsome politics of 2022. It's a do-or-die situation and a triangular fight for the TRS, the Congress, as well as the BJP, each one totally desperate to win this single by-election.
Let's get away the alley then because.
And finally, Bollywood celebrities known for their extravagant Diwali parties to ring in the festive cheer. Here's a glimpse, if you missed it, of another star-studded Diwali.
Happy Diwali, happy Diwali.
Lights, crackers, and decking up for parties. All this and much more sums up what Diwali looked like for our celebrities. And this year, the festival was even more special as one also saw them stepping out in style to attend galas hosted by creme de la creme of the film industry. Not just that, while some did puja and chose to have a huge gathering, others preferred staying at home to perform Lakshmi Aarti. Amitabh Bachchan was spotted at Jalsa for Diwali Puja. He was captured entering the location in a car along with his son and actor Abhishek Bachchan. Similarly, Shah Rukh Khan was seen at his production house Red Chillies Entertainment office with his family to perform puja. And Akshay Kumar too did the same at his workplace with Twinkle Khanna and kids along with staff members. Vicky Kaushal and Katrina Kaif, who celebrated their first Diwali as a married couple, at first were all out and about attending Diwali parties. However, on the festival, they stayed at home and worshipped Goddess Lakshmi. While the pictures of the duo broke the internet, what actually stole hearts was Vicky's caption on his post, which read, "Ghar ki Lakshmi ke saath Lakshmi Puja ho gayi. Ab sabhi ko hamari taraf se Shubh Deepawali." Talking about couples, even Alia Bhatt and Ranbir Kapoor dressed up for the festival. This selfie of the two with their family also went viral. Kangana Ranaut, who was seen attending Ekta Kapoor's bash a day before Diwali, also performed puja at her residence on the occasion with her temple decorated beautifully. Meanwhile, Saif Ali Khan and Kareena Kapoor Khan hosted a Diwali party, which was attended by several celebrities including Soha Ali Khan, Kunal Khemo and Neetu Kapoor. The couple's pictures from the night with their kids, who were twinning in black with Baba Saif, also made it to social media, and this particular one left everyone in splits. Moving on, new parents Sonam Kapoor and Anand Ahuja also hosted a Diwali party at their residence. Janhvi Kapoor, Varun Dhawan, Arjun Kapoor, Malaika Arora, Aditya Roy Kapoor and Tiger Shroff were among celebrities who attended the bash. In a lovely gesture, Anand Ahuja with brother-in-law Karan Bulani also distributed sweets to the media stationed outside. In fact, Shilpa Shetty did the same on the occasion.
Happy Diwali, Happy Diwali. Happy Diwali.
What's more, Amritpal Bindra's party was also one star-studded event. Abhishek Bachchan arrived along with wife and actor Aishwarya Rai Bachchan for the get-together. Siddharth Malhotra also joined the bash. Attending the party were also the Gen Z star kids including Sara Ali Khan, Ananya Pandey, Nisa Devgan and Shania Kapoor. Neha Dupia also attended the bash with husband and actor Angad Bedi. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
Happy Diwali.
And up next, even after witnessing the cleanest Diwali in 7 years, Delhi's cracker ban has failed and politics has erupted big time over Diwali in the national capital. That's with Nabila next.
With every sunrise comes new beginnings, new opportunities and new stories. And that's why we're first up. While you're sleeping, we're hard at work to ensure you get the perfect news shot every morning. Get you all the updates. Our morning mission to get you news that's fresh and packed with flavor. Watch First Up every weekday morning with me, Akshata Murty, right here on India Today.
Remember them? Amber Heard and Johnny Depp have both been busy with their lives ever since the defamation trial. And everything seems to be going quite well for Johnny. He's returning to movies with the role of King Louis XV in Jeanne du Barry. Has found love in his former lawyer, Joel Rich, and recently made 20 times the profit for his Queensland mansion. This isn't just any house, but it is the place where the infamous incident of Depp losing his finger took place. Amongst the many fights that were mentioned in court of the former couple, this incident was one to stick out quite a bit. He sold this mansion in Australia for $40 million. The house had 10 rooms with 10 bathrooms and a wine cellar with a capacity of 2,000 bottles, along with a go-karting ground within that premises. To get into the details of this infamous incident, Heard had been throwing bottles at the actor, 2 bottles in fact, the second one resulting in a cut finger. Amber Heard did not agree to this version and said that Johnny Depp had instead been throwing those bottles due to anger, and that's how he cut his own finger. The incident has taken place in 2015 and has been brought up in trial multiple times. Now, as the dust settles on the defamation trial, Johnny Depp has been seen doing quite a lot of concerts with his close friend Jeff Beck. And Amber Heard, on the other hand, is peacefully living her life in Spain. She will be seen next in Aquaman 2.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
Co-presented by PolicyBazaar.com. Co-powered by only OLX Autos gives the best price for your car. In association with LIC, Har Pal Aapke Saath. LG OLED, the one and only. Smart Bazaar, India's new Bachat Bazaar. Day after Diwali, Delhi air quality dips. Aam Aadmi Party gloats over improvement. Aam Aadmi Party brands it least polluted Diwali in 7 years. BJP hits back, calls it sheer luck. Opposition points at delayed stubble burning and monsoon. Delhi Diwali politics continues. Pataka, pollution and politics.
A very good evening. You're watching 6 p.m. Prime. I'm Nabila Jamal, and that's exactly our top focus. A day after Diwali, what are the pollution levels across the country? National capital, of course, our top focus, considering it was once rated the most polluted city in the world. Now, post-Diwali, here's a quick look at a few cities, including Delhi. The air quality index falls under the poor category in Delhi, a day after Diwali at 305. And then Mumbai, we're looking at 212 as the air quality index, which is in the moderate to poor category. Kolkata, it appears, has been fairly good with its air quality index at 58. Chennai, coming to 229, again leaning towards the poor category, and Bengaluru at 145, which is moderate to poor category. Now remember, anything above 300 comes to the very poor, poor to very poor category, and anything below 50 is basically good. But very rarely do we see these pollution levels that are good, that we could say of any big city in this country. In fact, Delhi at the top still remains the most polluted at 305, the air quality index, which is coming under the hazardous levels, while Mumbai comes under the very unhealthy category, and Kolkata coming under moderate. And of course, Chennai, again, very unhealthy. Bengaluru showing as unhealthy. Basically, something to do with poor, moderate poor, and very poor category. These are the top cities that displays its air quality index, which is not very impressive. I'm going to take you through details of that. What exactly is its situation a day after Diwali? As promised, Kejriwal government's cracker ban, was it really effective in controlling pollution levels? All that and more right after the headlines. Rishi Sunak takes charge as new UK Prime Minister, sparks a political war in India after opposition has asked if something similar can ever happen in India.
Can a minority member take over as the Prime Minister in India? BJP hits back, citing examples of Manmohan Singh and Abdul Kalam. Communal clashes in Vadodara on the occasion of Diwali. Two groups have clashed with instances of stone pelting reported. The cops who tried to calm the situation were attacked with petrol bombs by unruly crowds. 5 people have been arrested in connection to the blast which took place near a temple in Coimbatore on October 23rd. The cops are currently probing a terror angle in this case. BJP has accused Chief Minister Stalin of downplaying the suicide terror angle. High drama ahead of Munugode bypolls in Telangana. BJP accuses TRS Mantri, KTR and leaders of inciting children to attack him by distributing money, alcohol to them. Out on parole, rape and murder convict Ram Rahim's fresh provocation. Self-styled godman held online satsangs, released new videos after coming out on parole. World witnesses the last solar eclipse of the year. Doors of Kedarnath and Badrinath temples closed due to celestial phenomenon. Now, with Diwali season currently underway, the Pataka politics is back yet again. Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP have been locked in horns, while AAP has claimed it was this year was basically the least polluted Diwali in the last 7 years. BJP has claimed that there are a lot of reasons to attribute to low pollution levels in Delhi. And one of them is delayed stubble burning. And the other, of course, as we see, monsoon rains have come early and it was quite heavy. That's come as saviors for the national capital. And asked Aam Aadmi Party to stop gloating over its measures adopted, calling it an absolute failure. Let me take you through a quick look on this detailed report.
Cracker ban going up in smoke in the capital. On Diwali night, the Delhi sky was lit up. Crackers bringing down the air quality to severe category. A penalty of 200 rupees and jail for 6 months failing to deter cracker violators, with cracker sounds going on till late into the night.
सरकार ने काफी बैन किया हद से ज्यादा मतलब कि वही सांस लिए अच्छी तरह ले इंसान इसलिए पटाखों पे फिर भी लोग वाग अपनी जिम्मेवारियां नहीं समझते।
वह देखो बहुत ज्यादा देख लो कितना धुआं हो रहा है। ये तो हम जैसे सिटीजन लोगों को परेशानी है। धुआं बहुत है, आंखों में आ रही है, सांसों में जा रही है, दर्द होता है, आंखें तो चुप चुप करती है, पता नहीं ऐसी को जलन से हो रही है।
Coming days is going to be critical for the residents of Delhi NCR as far as AQI level is concerned.
But this year, Delhiites got away relatively easy, with environmental factors like wind dissipating the smog by morning. An October Diwali when pollution is yet to spike and water sprinklers doing the trick for Delhi this year, making it the cleanest Diwali in 7 years. The NCR residents have been breathing toxic air since many years. This Diwali, the toxicity in the air has drastically reduced. But politics soon erupted. BJP launched a scathing attack on Kejriwal over the cracker ban. Reiterating the anti-Hindu Kejriwal jibe, BJP hit out at the AAP, asking, since a lot of people were bursting crackers, how many will AAP put behind bars?
पूछना चाहता हूं कि आप सिर्फ हिंदुओं के त्योहार पर बैन लगाकर पटाखे पर आप अपने नाकामी के लिए तीसरी नहीं कर सकते।
Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal jumped into action, lauding Delhiites for making the effort to ensure a clean Diwali.
पटाखों को लेकर एक जागरूकता केजरीवाल जी की सरकार की ओर से लोगों के बीच में फैलाई गई कि भाई इससे प्रदूषण बढ़ेगा और इन सब का परिणाम हुआ कि 5 वर्षों में दीपावली के दूसरे दिन का प्रदूषण सबसे न्यूनतम स्तर पे है।
But with stubble burning continuing in Punjab, is the worst yet to come? Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, now Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi have been certainly gloating that this is the first Diwali in 7 years that the air quality has slightly improved over the last few years, from the last few years on the day of Diwali. I'm going to take you through what's reality. Over the last few years, at least 7 years, here's the air quality index of Delhi itself, the national capital, all the way from 2014. Let's start with this year itself. A day before Diwali, the air quality was 259. On the day of Diwali, it was 312, and a day after, it's come down to 305. All of it remain in the poor to very poor category. A year before, let me stick to the day of Diwali, 382. That's again very poor to hazardous category of air pollution. And a day on the day after Diwali, it was 462. Again, very severe air quality. The same we see a trend in 2020, 2019, and the years before that, 2017, 2016, 2015. All the years, we've seen air quality index in Delhi dropping down to severe, very poor category. This is the index that you may want to keep your eye on. Basically, all the years before this year, the air quality index has been more or less the same in the severe category. This year, possibly dipped to 305, which is not a significant difference, but still a boon to those who are hoping that air pollution levels will be controlled, especially on the day of Diwali when one notices the worst air pollutions. Now, let me cut across to Ashutosh Mishra. Ashutosh, it's true that Delhi's air quality index has improved slightly from the previous years, but I just showed our viewers here on the air quality index over the last few years, there's barely any difference. There's hardly, 20 to 30 point difference. It still falls under the very poor category. We are still breathing toxic air, but Aam Aadmi Party, of course, is branding this as the least polluted Diwali. BJP is saying don't gloat because it's not your efforts that has reduced pollution. It's the delayed stubble burning and, of course, monsoon rains that were so heavy and unprecedented in Delhi in the last few weeks that really have acted as saviors. What's the fact?
Well, Nabila, what I'm accessing through the Suffer app, it says here in the national capital, the overall AQI is 349. And subsequently, when I'm following Gurugram, it also says the AQI index goes 319. And similar data, if I access for Noida, it says the AQI index is 360. So not the Delhi, but the entire NCR, this Noida, Gurgaon, Faridabad, Ghaziabad, and the national capital, the AQI index remains in very poor category. Now, there are multiple ironies that I'm seeing literally. One side where the cracker bursting, indeed during the festive season, it is a religious festival, but don't we know that when you burst a firecracker, subsequently it adds a lot of smoke in there, and then there's thick layer of smog. Clearly, the topographical factor have played, significantly, because there is a, enough air speed, wind speed, which has totally cleared the smog, which could have collected in the air suspended for really long, unlike the previous years we have seen, because this year we have seen Diwali falling in October. Subsequently, the data which the Delhi government is citing from Punjab and Delhi, that there have been 1/3 instances of stubble burning so far. In fact, recently the CAQM data also says this number of stubble burning have reduced, though it's not totally zero, but it has been reduced significantly. Yet again, when we see the politics, the same BJP is targeting the Aam Aadmi Party, that several leaders tweeted the pictures. Look, Punjab is really, the stubble is burning and this air will choke Delhi, this will kill everyone. But if you remember, very last year, the same BJP was defending that how Aam Aadmi Party is blaming on the farmers of Punjab. There is not the major factor of stubble burning that is contributing this pollution. So this year we see a totally irony. At the same time, we are seeing Aam Aadmi Party, which is playing that, look, though it was the topographical factor, it was the wind speed which cleared it. Now they are claiming that it was our effort for last 8 years. We are seeing, a better Diwali with a, better quality air index than we have seen in last 8 years. Subsequently, they are claiming that we have lesser number of stubble burning. But for now, what it remains, though the the smoke gun, all these things are being released, we are at the moment breathing in a toxic air. The air quality index that remains in a very poor category. But it is not just a Delhi factor. NCR entire remain a suspect, a closed pocket. So we are not seeing very much really effort from Delhi, from Noida, from Ghaziabad, from Gurgaon.
You know, exactly what we're trying to express here, that the government may be gloating over how this is the least polluted Diwali in the last 7 years, but ultimately it's the common man still bearing the brunt. The netas themselves who live in Delhi are still breathing toxic air. So there's really nothing to boast about right now. But let me take you through. Of course, one of the measures that the Aam Aadmi Party took in Delhi was to ban firecrackers to ensure that they curb pollution. BJP, of course, called this an anti-Hindu move, etc. But it appears that the ban itself went up in flames as there were reports of firecrackers being burst across Delhi. But what was the real action taken against those violators? Were anyone jailed or fined? Hardly any reports of violators being imprisoned or fined that's come from Delhi. But here's a quick look at the crackdown. Over the days leading to Diwali, the police in Delhi, and remember this is the Delhi police who's responsible for acting on these violations. Have the Delhi police really managed to arrest those people who have violated the norms? Not significantly, not that we know of. But here's the action that they have taken in the days running up to Diwali. The number of firecracker sale violators have been identified. About 150 of them were identified and detained. The quantity of firecrackers that were seized from the sale was 17,357 kgs in all in the days leading up to Diwali. The quantity of firecrackers seized from bursting itself was 3 kgs as far as the police's official reports. And the number of firecrackers, those who are basically bursting firecrackers, the violators have been listed at 23. So from what we understand is that the whole of Delhi, we heard sounds of firecrackers going off. 23 people were detained. Whether they're going to be facing arrest or fine, yet to be established, but no significant crackdown. Nonetheless, the Aam Aadmi Party still saying we're a step ahead. We've managed to actually get out of the list of the top 10 polluted cities in the world. And this was indeed a fairly better, less polluted Diwali. Now, I'm going to cut across to Abhishek Anand to give us an understanding on the action taken against the violators. You know, Abhishek, it's very difficult to disappoint those really celebrating Diwali with so much pomp and fervor. They've grown up bursting firecrackers, and that's really part of their festivities. So taking that away from them was looked at as unfair. BJP was calling this anti-Hindu, but nonetheless, the Aam Aadmi Party was very stern, and even the Supreme Court refused to intervene on this matter, considering that pollution levels in Delhi, the national capital, was hazardous. Now, as we see, there was barely any crackdown on those real violators who burst firecrackers in Delhi during Diwali. Tell us a little more on what real action was taken. Anything significant?
Well, Nabila, there is an economy which runs around this firecracker business, especially during Diwali. There are firecrackers used during other festivals also. In fact, during marriages also, in marriage season also, this economy booms. But during Diwali, this economy has gone underground in Delhi. No display of firecrackers have been done in the areas. The wholesalers of firecrackers had shut their shops, but still the firecrackers were sold. An investigative report of India Today exposed that home delivery of firecrackers were being done from the industrial areas. The people, the companies, the entire ecosystem of firecrackers were involved in home delivering firecrackers in Delhi, and the entire ban went up into the flame, and there was actually no significant ban which is visible last night in Delhi. Nabila, at 3 a.m. I was awake and I saw the AQI reaching up to 600 in Delhi, but thankfully to the nature, the wind speed actually gave respite to Delhiites, and all the accumulation of these harmful air, the harmful chemicals in the air are being flushed out. Still, the air quality is in hazardous category, but the politics around this is going on, and the problem is still there. The stubble burning is still there. The cracker ban is up in the flames, but the politics is going around there. The slugfest is going around, and the parties are trying to take credit, but the credit goes to the wind speed. This is the only reason why we are not breathing in very hazardous air. We are celebrating the hazardous. This is the situation. This is the ground report of Delhi and NCR.
Any stern police action? Was there any
Nabila,
stern police action?
I went to IIT Delhi and met a professor. No report has been released so far, Nabila. We are still waiting from the police to release a report about the actions taken, the number of people who were penalized or maybe arrested, but nothing so far.
Thank you very much for joining us on that. So let's not forget that politicians may gloat calling this the lowest or the least polluted Diwali, but at the end of it, people are still breathing toxic air, not just in Delhi, but even different parts of India. In fact, as I may highlight here, this winter season, around, even before the winter comes in, we're looking at least 8 Indian cities who have made it on this top 10 polluted cities list in Asia. Isn't a proud moment for India? Not at all. In fact, Delhi was one on top of that list, and that's some relief for the Aam Aadmi Party, as they claim that Delhi is no more on that list, and that's the fact here. Let me take you through the top 10 Indian cities that really has made it to this dubious list of being the most polluted in the world. Gurugram has made it to this list at air quality index at 679. This comes on the day of Diwali. That was the pollution level that was reported. And then we see areas like Rewari in Haryana, where air quality index at 543 also made it to the world's most polluted cities. Muzaffarpur in Bihar has also made it with air quality index at 316, made it to the most polluted cities in the world's list. Now, according to this data, Delhi's air quality index also showed at 194, which was fairly good, which is why it seems like Delhi has escaped from this list, but areas in Lucknow, an area called Coimbatore, this area has reported 298 air quality index, and that's also made it to the list. And then Begusarai also made it to the list. We see other cities as well across the country. Devas at 266 has also made it to the most polluted cities in the world, in mostly Asia. Kalyan as well at 256 air quality index. So Ayodhya too has also made it to the most polluted cities in Asia. Saran as well at 239, that's made it to the list. Now, these are mostly the cities, Indian cities, 8 cities that has made it to the most polluted Asian cities in the world. Now, as we see, this is not something that we've got to be proud of. It's clearly something that we are disappointed with, and we've got to work towards ensuring pollution levels dip. In a country like ours, we are the most populated country as well. At a time like this, it's very important to ensure better quality for people at large. Now, the world is, on the other hand, as I may shift focus here, the world is now witnessing the last solar eclipse of the year. In fact, this celestial phenomenon occurs when moon passes between the earth and the sun. It blocks most of the sun's light, throws its shadow on the earth, creating a dazzling fiery crescent. These are visuals coming in from across the world, where people got to witness parts of this partial eclipse. While parts of Europe witnessed the solar eclipse in India, it began around 4 p.m., continued until 6 p.m. In India, the solar eclipse is associated with a religious belief and some superstitions as well. Doors of Kedarnath and Badrinath temples were closed due to partial solar eclipse. Earlier today, people were seen taking a holy dip ahead of the eclipse as well. The Indian Institute of Astrophysics live streamed this partial solar eclipse from Han, Ladakh. In fact, they say that it is one of the rarest solar eclipses and will not be seen again for the next 10 years. This was the last eclipse of the year and also a rare one. And India witnessed it for a brief hour. Only some parts of the country were able to see this partial eclipse, which is now ended.
Soon after the solar eclipse, now in Prayagraj, at the holy city, devotees who have come are now taking the holy dip at the confluence of Ganga and Yamuna. And the pictures are evident enough to tell you that how in big numbers, devotees who have come to this city after the solar eclipse, which happened in Prayagraj from 4:22 in the evening to 5:27, are now indulged in offering their prayers to Ganga, and that is something which is only and only visible in Prayagraj. people have been coming here in big numbers, and now the pictures are emerging where they want to take this holy dip at the confluence of River Ganga and wants to make sure that whatever impact they have had of this solar eclipse should be nullified and should be not to be in condition of affecting their family. Now this is very important that this visual, this picture is only and only evident in Prayagraj, which is the holy city, and the dip at the confluence of river Ganga and Yamuna is only possible in Prayagraj. It is also very important that from morning itself, the devotees have been coming from all parts of India, and by taking this holy dip, they want to make sure that there is no implication, no impact of this solar eclipse as far as its impact is concerned. It's time for the snan, it's time to do the prayers, and it's time to offer all the offerings to Ma Ganga, which is the mother Ganges. And at the same time, all these devotees who have been coming here are now only and only chanting about Ganga Maya, and at the same time offering prayers at the confluence of Ganga and Yamuna. In Prayagraj with cameraman Sandeep, Abhishek Mishra for India Today.
All right, that was indeed quite capturing and intriguing for those who got to see this partial solar eclipse, or Surya Grahan as they call it, was first seen in India at Leh in Ladakh. The Indian Institute of Astrophysics has said, in fact, this eclipse was visible in Amritsar, was also visible in Lucknow, Jammu, Chandigarh and West Bengal. I'm going to leave you with these images coming in, this eclipse that lasted for about an hour and was visible only in a few parts of the country, including that in Amritsar, Lucknow, Jammu, Chandigarh and West Bengal. This was indeed auspicious, as this was known as a special partial eclipse, considering it happens one in 10 years. So only the next decade one will get to witness something like this.
Taiwan excellence empowers innovation in everyone's life. We keep moving forward to a wonderful tomorrow, dreaming amazing dreams and living fuller lives. Everywhere, every moment, every day. Taiwan excellence. Everyday excellence.
News is about putting people first. Just look at the queues right across. About asking the right questions to those in power. Is money power being used to bring down elected governments? Who will be held accountable for ministerial corruption? It takes no sides.
माँ का दर्द एक दर्द कोई नहीं समझ सकता उस दर्द को.
It reveals. It heals. Angry people came out on the streets. Is this the kind of justice system we want in this country? News is all heart and no hatred.
बिल्किस बानो आज क्या कहना चाहेंगी आप?
हमारे साथ जो हुआ है किसी के साथ भी नहीं होना चाहिए.
Experience the news. With me, Rajdeep Sardesai, only on India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
Climate change threatens our planet and our future. In 2021, the global temperature grew by 0.13 degrees Celsius. Amid the rising global warming concerns, green hydrogen seems like a formidable solution. But what is green hydrogen and how can it reduce carbon footprint? Presented as a solution to help curb global warming, green hydrogen could play a key role in reducing the major carbon footprint of some sectors such as heavy industry and transport. Hydrogen is the most abundant chemical element in the universe, but it does not exist in pure state. It must be extracted. It is already produced, but almost all of it comes from a chemical process using natural gas, and this generates a lot of carbon dioxide. Green hydrogen, by contrast, can be produced by electricity, generated by renewable energies such as wind power. Another low-carbon hydrogen would be based on electricity from nuclear power plants. In both cases, it is produced by electrolysis, which uses an electrical current to separate the hydrogen from oxygen in water. The hydrogen obtained from this process as a gas is 11 times lighter than air and must be stored. There are several techniques: high pressure storage in gaseous form, storage at a very low temperature in liquid form, and storage in solid form with other materials. This storage capacity would make it possible to keep surplus production from renewable energies. Converted back into electricity by a fuel cell, hydrogen would also help to replace fossil fuels in long-distance transport such as trucks, trains, or even planes. And eventually, it can replace coal in industries such as steel that require a lot of heat. 1 kg of hydrogen releases about 3 times more energy than 1 kg of gas. But to widen its use, the cost of producing green hydrogen will have to drop. Currently, it costs 2 to 3 times more than grey hydrogen. Its widespread use will also depend on the development of low-carbon electricity production and the fuel cell.
Saving me yesterday. Thank you for saving me. Cool and calm.
Alright, those were visuals of the Indian team arriving from Melbourne after that famous victory against Pakistan right here in Sydney. And with the Indian team, we are in Sydney too. Behind me is the famous Harbour Bridge that's right there. And then this is the Opera House that is lit in all its glory here at night. Also joining me live from Perth, Sunny Gavaskar. He'll be getting here in Sydney a little later. For the moment, doing commentary duties in Perth. But Sunny bhai, we're now at a new venue. What do you think changes in terms of cricket being played from Melbourne to Sydney? What is it that the Indian team would have to do differently when they change venues from Melbourne to Sydney?
Well, I think the Sydney pitch generally helps the spinners a little bit, though in a 40 overs contest, that might not be the case. So India will have to look at which spinners they play, or whether they play 2 spinners or 1 spinner. That's going to be the key. But as far as India is concerned, the confidence level is going to be massive. It's going to be very high. But there should be no complacency. That just because you pulled off a final ball victory, an epic victory, doesn't mean that you've got to take the next opponent lightly.
Okay, that is something that India would have to look at. The next opponents for India are going to be the Netherlands. They played well in round 1 to have qualified for the next round and now will be up against a very formidable Indian team. But just let me tell you, they may have arrived in Sydney just very recently, the men in blue, and after a very big win. But that didn't prompt the Indian team to put their feet up. They weren't relaxing. They were out in almost full strength for a training session that took place at the Sydney Cricket Ground. We were there covering all of that, and this is what the Indian team focused on their first practice session in the second leg of the T20 World Cup here in Sydney. So the Indian team was practicing today. Let me just fill you in on what they did. The entire team was out in full strength, barring a few players. Some notable absentees today were Mohammad Shami, Arshdeep Singh, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. Your 3 fast bowlers did not come for practice. Then Hardik Pandya did not turn up for practice, and nor did Akshar Patel or Surya Kumar Yadav. KL Rahul practiced for an extended period of time at the nets here at the SCG. Alongside him was Rohit Sharma, and what was really notable in Rohit Sharma's practice today, he spent the maximum amount of time in the nets. So first he practiced when the openers came out to bat, the first one out on the nets, practiced for the longest time, and then he took a bit of a break, did some fielding drills. And then usually once you've done your batting session, you rarely see batsmen come back. But Rohit came back for a second stint. So he had 2 stints today at practice. Apart from that, you also had Dinesh Karthik practicing a lot. And what was really interesting to note is the fact that he practiced against the spinners. Remember, last time around he came at a situation where the spin